love the static mixed with the that was in the back of that. So the funny thing about that for me, also hi, welcome back to Nat19 Vestige of Ophiuchus, campaign 1, session 58. You're looking very good today. Did you get new shoes or something? I don't know. I can't see you through the screen. I don't know if you knew that, but I'm actually unaware of what you're wearing, and if I could find out what you were wearing and compliment it, that would be a reason for concern. Anyways, that aside. It's funny. What's funny, on my side, is that when I play the opening stinger, I can't hear it. So, whenever I'm like, you guys say nothing then interrupt me, I'm left with this, like, 4-second chunk of silence, where all I can do is be hyper aware of any noises that any of you make. Which is why when I hear someone come off of mute and go back on, I'm like, ah! I heard that! Because there's literally nothing else.
That must make you pretty excited.
It makes me very excited.
You know, I don't think I can do this today.
Alright, guess I'm kissing Tantia.
Oh.
Hey!
Hold on a goddamn minute.
Now she's staying, you're welcome.
These are all acceptable outcomes. I'm not. I feel no need to get involved in this, get invited in this. I don't need to get invited in this. It's gonna be one of those days for me, which is good, because if there was ever gonna be a day where my brain does not work, surely this is the session where it's the right time.
Yes.
Alrighty, my boys.
Boy.
So,
Maybe we should leave.
Yes, my boy.
I'm just going to immediately put us over onto the screen. Boop boop.
Alright, just in case, going to the top of my notes.
Go to the top of your notes, just in case I end up asking you for the recap. Let's heckin' find out. Let's find out if it's gonna be you.
Not Slytherin, not Slytherin.
You've been doing it an awful lot lately. It's not gonna be you. I'm gonna roll again.
Thanks, man.
You're not Hayden, so I'm gonna roll again.
Oh, thank God.
Just do what Spence does and fucking cheat.
Oh, Hayden! Alright, what happened last time?
Okay, so, this is Ryuji the Bard. Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. Hello. So, last time on Vestige of Ophiuchus, we talked, fucking Quintus talked to Lexi about something. We don't know what it was, but now there's a ship name. Whoa, that's fucking crazy. There was a big mouth, and there was a big mouse, and it's apparently terrorizing our manor, and I don't know what that's about. But, okay, so Flux, like, left us all gifts and stuff, and all of them were really, really thoughtful, but he left a fucking bird, like a fucking tone-deaf bitch. So...
Damn, Ryuji.
The fuck?
Get him, Ryuji, get him!
Defending my mama. So, Aviana talked to Miriam and was like, hey, yo, so you were, like, experimented on, right? That's the whole thing. Sorry about that. Also, want to touch my fan? It's maybe magical. So Miriam touched her fan, right? And then Miriam got all espresso possesso, and...
Espresso possesso?
It's espresso.
Thank you.
I'm going to kill all of you.
I can't believe I'm dropping out of
I'm a mighty warrior, you'll find. My bard spells are top tier. So he got all espresso possesso, and then Aviana got the fan back. It was a whole thing. Miriam tried to fucking break it like a bitch, but it wasn't his fault. He was possessed. So we went and we like made granola bars or whatever. Fucking Rory showed up. Was like, oh, cool, so you guys could go to the election. Yay, I love all of you so much. You're my favorite people in the whole wide world. And
I
then...
love you too, Rory.
Notes. I wrote a lot of notes last game. I'm looking at this one note. It says canon that Rory says heckin'. So I just have to... I looked down at my page, I was like, yeah.
Alright, you got 40 seconds before heckin' no treat, Ryuji.
Lots of conversations happened. Roy's like, hey, what up? You wanna live in my house? And she's like, fuck yeah, bitch. So then we went to go get Hanzo, and Hanzo was shown to the fucking highest standard. I'm so sorry, buddy. And he gave us his blood and learned a lot about his past, and the people he thought were dead were fucking alive, and it was the whole time. And that's where we ended game. No, we ended game going to see Vindy, probably Scandal. You're welcome. It's good to be back. There's my not short recap, because I don't know how to do short recaps. I'm a dog.
I'm a dog.
I know that it is not necessary for you to eat, but I would consider it very rude if you did not partake.
Oh, I see. Humblest apologies. I will partake in that case. I'll look around at something, just grab something at random, like a bread roll, and slowly,
Tries to shove in face.
noisily unhinge his jaw.
Just inside a little mini garbage disposal happens.
By God.
You.
I shall enjoy masticating this food product.
I'm just imagining Flux eating like Janet. He just smashes it into his face.
Pretty much.
So, my understanding of things regarding your group is that your fun in the city is going to be coming to an end soon, isn't it? You have been very involved with everything that's been going on.
It seems as if everything that's been going on has surrounded us in some way, shape, or form.
I suppose it could look like that.
Well, yep.
I thought it would be appropriate, considering all the help that you've been lending, that you be rewarded for your service to the city with one final large send-off. Because I imagine that starting tomorrow I won't have the agency to act as I wish to. The Academy seems to have taken notice of me, and my only choice may be to... we'll call it retire. So I wanted to show my appreciation for your services while I could.
It's most appreciated.
When you did what you did, I'm sure that they would see that you did it only for good reason. Take away those who were being targeted by those attacks. He seems as if he is a somewhat understanding man.
I suppose so. I've never, interacted with him directly if I could help it. Mostly because I've been trying to avoid him catching on to anything I'm capable of. I was born with quite a bit of magical potential, and studying it just seemed too fun. I didn't want to pass up the chance. And before I knew it, in my studies I had far exceeded what seems to be socially allowed. But I've been hiding it for a long time. Things the other day just made it a bit difficult to continue doing so. And though he's reasonable, I believe that Rasputin's opinion of me, currently, is that if I had the capability to use this kind of magic, I should have reported to them that I was capable of doing so and received the scholar a long time ago. And I don't believe that they will look upon me favorably, nor do I want that limitation put on me.
Something I would agree with if I were in the same position.
I would rather abscond and live life as a vagabond, moving from town to town, living in squalor, as long as I could keep my abilities intact. So perhaps that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll disappear into the underground and leave my fortune to another. Would any of you be perhaps interested in that?
I feel like there's some kind of catch going along with that.
Why not just leave your money to people who actually need it?
That's a good point.
Well, who needs it?
Oh, people living in poverty. Or, what's going to happen to all of these leftovers that we don't eat? What's the point of something so exorbitant?
Do you see the figure that is behind Vindy? Their shoulders tense when you say leftovers. I suppose I could donate my money to the poor and try to increase the living conditions here in the city, but that does beg the question, Aviana. Do you think I could eliminate the poor entirely? And you think that if I were to help them financially, that it would change their general station in life?
You'll never get rid of it entirely, but you could at least help.
There will be poor always. That is an undeniable fact, especially in a city that is run based on coin. That is something the former High Lord did not understand, and Morian did. The former one acted as if people should be able to crawl up from the dredges and make their lives better. High Lord Morian has done what he can to see them. He has done what he can to make sure they're given the same rights and opportunities, but has not made any empty promises, which must seem cruel to them, I'm sure, but, well, there's been less murder since then, so that's one improvement, I suppose.
They deserve more than a shitty fountain, is what I'm saying.
We can speak a lot on what could be done with this money, but I would like to more ask, why would you ask us that?
I suppose to see what you say.
You know, it would be fun.
Hmm.
There's a family that owns a restaurant in the Electorate district. They made us some pretty good bread once. Want to give it to them?
Yeah.
You think that if I gave them the entire fortune of a merchant lord, that they would know what to do with it?
They would at least have the context of the people around them. They come from the same places that Aviana does.
Ah. Certainly a thought. My plan, as it were currently, was to leave my resources in the hands of the treasury and allow it to be redistributed, as whoever takes charge of that sees fit, whether or not we get back Lilywind or Kanzleger ends up staying in power. I can't do much to control who ends up taking over here, but I'll consider that. I will consider leaving a great deal of support to this bakery that you have mentioned, because it might be interesting to do so, I suppose. Fogan, have you gotten proper use out of the belt?
I've gotten a lot of use out of it, yeah. It's been very helpful.
What do you intend to do with it now? I assume you'll all be leaving the city relatively soon.
Well, I intended to keep it. It might help me along my pilgrimage.
Once all the talk about us leaving, you yourself are planning to abscond, as you said before as well, but Aviana has mentioned her need to want to stay, and there's not a humongous rush for us to leave immediately.
No, there is.
I'd just like to ask, where is it you would like to go, and is there a reason you'd like us to move quicker than normal?
Oh, there is no need for you to know where I'm going. Frankly, I'm not even sure I know where I'm going. All I know is that my old friend High Lord Morian has told me over the past few days that he has some work for you, and he's never been one to sit on his laurels. I imagine that once the election is over and he is a free agent in the city again, he will likely want to hurry you along to whatever it is that you have agreed to.
And forgive me,
Who's your friend?
I am someone of no importance, and I ask that you ignore me as you continue to enjoy very select and strange amounts of the food. Do not mind me.
By all means, join us.
That would not be proper. You see
We're the
Vindy, like,
highest standard, not-
smiling as the figure behind them gets more agitated.
I can't imagine Vindy would disagree.
Well, unfortunately, neither I nor Robeth here is going to be partaking in the lion's share of this. This was prepared for you. But I doubt that Robeth would want to take part even if you could, would you? That would go
Vindy been
against your principles.
Has Vindy been eating much?
Vindy has had, like, a strawberry and some of a drink.
Oh,
That's true.
eating.
Well, I mean, we're not gonna eat all of this. Like, we should share.
That would go against the point. But I sincerely hope that you see the figure, like, clenching their fist and then very suddenly their hand just moves up to their chest. They pull the hood down and their posture straightens out. I sincerely hope that you enjoy it. I'm sorry I can contain it no longer. I am Robeth. I am the greatest cook who has ever graced this city, and I will not stand by and be silent. You are all people that I would not be serving normally, but you have saved the city not once, but twice. And to cook for you is a great honor. There is dignity within this room, certainly, and I was asked to mind my manners, but I must say, I wish for you to enjoy yourself to your fullest, so please, stop eyeing the food as if it was going to bite you. I do not wish you to be afraid of it. It is there to caress you. It is there to wrap you in its warm embrace, and I'm
so sorry.
Quintus raises his drink to the air. Here, here!
Fenris is staring at him like a celebrity.
Aviana has just her foot propped up on her chair, and she's just sitting so improperly, just eating pastries.
I asked
She's
Rabeth. Rabeth is an old friend of mine who I asked to come in from out of town to prepare this for you. They used to work for Margaret within the city, but outgrew his services, and they have a good deal of professional and passionate pride in their work. Do you not, Rabeth?
Yes, to cook is my life, and I am sorry if I have brought down the dignity of the room by having this outburst, but to see you eye my food with such suspicion it is not something that I could bear!
Well, we thank you very much for the amount of food you have prepared for us.
Or
While-
delicious. It's
while
very
this is-
cool.
I assume they are correct in its deliciousness.
Why?
While this is a little much for just all of us to be able to finish, he looks to Aviana. It is not every day that we get to taste such amazingly prepared food. Thank you.
There's so much inspiration for my next dish.
I normally reserve my services for those that are more in need. I try to wander about and do what I can to help people who do not have the means to serve themselves. But Vindy is an old friend of mine and helped me to get out of a bad place. So when they asked me to come and prepare this meal, using the ancient techniques passed down through my family, a family of artisans that goes back generations, cooks and chefs who have refined their craft over 200 years, I've considered it to be an honor, and when I found out I would be cooking for a knight, that was... I suppose I had expected more, but when you sat, I thought I had offended you somehow with the display in front of you. And you, man who is made of metal, a warforged, I have seen your kind eat before, but you merely pick at the food that is in front of you. Have I offended you as well?
No, of course not. I am very sorry. I merely wish to not waste your delicious food on someone who cannot taste.
It would be a waste to not partake!
Oh, I see. I have missed yet another social cue. I am sorry. Just start shoveling food into face.
This is not a good day for Flux.
I'm a monster.
I wish for you to take in as much as you can, and enjoy it as deeply as you can. For if you are not satisfied by even the smallest sliver, then I am a disgrace!
I will fill myself to capacity.
God.
I don't even know what he said that time. You've got him excited.
Wow. That's a lot.
All is as it should be. He leans back, clasps his hands together. My work is done.
So it looks like it's going to be 3-2 for Diane. I wonder if that happens. If any outside parties would end up doing anything about it.
He looks down at the food and then looks back to her for a moment before a very slight, uneasy smirk goes across his face.
Would depend if the price was right, if someone wanted something done about it. And I'll take a long drink from my goblet.
Oh, fuck.
You're thinking of a very specific something.
I wish to incite my guildmates.
It seems it's.
I think me and
Fenris-
Kitty are on the same page. I'm not sure about everybody else.
Yeah, right? I'm just like,
Fenris. I've just tucked into my food because this is political talk and that's not my strong suit.
Fucking same. That's why I'm trying to figure this out.
If they don't, if they don't talk to me directly, it's not my problem.
What do you think, Fenris?
Good. I shrug at Fenris. Like,
I believe that this is rather good stew.
oh, fuck.
I'm just saying, like,
That makes sense. I'm trying to read all y'all, and I'm like,
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only
That's
wonder
ridiculous.
just how everything had gone down. Whenever you had taken everyone to safety the other day, how long did it take for Diane to show herself afterwards?
Oh. She showed up about 20 to 30 minutes later and reconnected with a lot of us, established that she was okay, and then she left.
She said nothing about where she was?
Not to my recollection. She didn't engage with me directly.
How much do you truly understand about her?
About Diane?
Yes?
Well, I assume you means in regards to, you mean how she does her business.
Sure.
I've known for quite a long time.
And you still wish to back Edrigan at that point?
Well, having Edrigan in charge would have been fine by me, and if there's a seedy underbelly to the city, that's fine. There always was going to be. Besides, this city is ruled by people who keep secrets. Our current lords are no different. High Lord Morian definitely has their own. I'm sure that we all know that by now. You will also note that when I spoke of returning Lilywind, I did mention getting them back. I am entirely aware that this city is being led to believe that Lilywind was captured, when in fact Lilywind was just an outsider looking to make our lives a little bit more interesting and keep themselves near a certain treasure hoard that they took some pride in looking after. And I've never had any problem with the fact that a dragon has been sitting on the city's treasury. So why would I have any issue with the family being close to it as well? If they were to bankrupt the city, then that would be bad for their own business. I can see how they would be useful to have them in play.
You see at this point in the conversation, Rob Beth, attempting to be sneaky, but being a very flamboyant person, they put their hand up and they're just like,
Already time. Very well. I suppose we're going to have to wrap this up here.
I'll go with Spencer. Spencer,
What? What?
roll 2d10.
Percentile or just 2d10?
Just 2d10.
Oh.
16 or a 10 and a 6.
Alrighty. In that case,
Give it to me. Give it to me, Daddy. Come on.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Jesus. Get hot in this bitch.
What's happening here?
Got the vapors.
Bring it.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Bring it.
Bring what?
out the 16 goblins.
He looks up, they're all just hanging from a chandelier, like, It's been a lovely dinner, and, while occasionally grim, not bad conversation, I suppose.
Can I make a request before we go?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be too much to ask to see this spread distributed amongst people who might need it more than the trash cans?
Certainly. You know, you would do best to not assume the worst of those that happen to have money. This was never going to go to waste.
Good. Just needed to ensure that.
Man, I just got 16 more hit points. No 16 goblins.
The last thing I guess we should bring up before leaving, since we are going to be leaving now, We had heard that you had taken our winnings from the tournament.
Oh, yes, I suppose you'll be wanting that. In that case, you hear her, snap her fingers twice. You hear the sound of trays being rolled out. I have converted most of it into platinum for the sake of carrying it more easily, since some of you would have had to take back quite large piles of money, if that's fine. But your winnings from the tournament, as well as your bets, are present here. You see someone roll out several large, effectively food trays that are carried, or that have, some of them have little satchels that are on top of them, but two of them appear to be small chests that are rolled out. Flux, yours, it will be accounted for in platinum, but it is 100 platinum. So I'm going to if I just drag that onto you here, will it do it? No. So we're going to give that to you. One of the satchels is walked over and given to you. One sec while I drop that onto your sheet. I'm going to do this one at a time so that there's no mistakes are made here.
Excellent.
Nice.
Aviana,
Thank you.
yours would have been 200 gold, I believe.
That's what I had written
So
down.
yours is still in gold. Anytime these things break 1,000, they'll be converted to the next type up. Where is your inventory? Another satchel's brought over to you. You are presented with 200 gold.
Thank you.
Boop, boop, boop. Quintus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, we'll go Lexi next. Lexi, you are presented with 200 platinum.
I bet wisely, y'all.
You did? This is quite a big payout for the lot of you.
Fucking rich. Oh my god.
Next up, Quintus. 550 platinum is brought to you.
Ooh.
Damn. Okay, now
Oh
you're
my
richer than me.
God.
The remaining two servants then take the two chests and bring them over to Vogan and to Fenris. Vogan, you are
They get so much.
Vogan, you are presented with your winnings as well as an extra 300 platinum for coming in second place in the tournament.
Huh.
You are given 750 platinum.
Oh,
God
disgusting.
damn!
And Fenris,
I am so rich.
Fenris,
guys.
as the winner of the tournament, you are presented with 1,198 platinum.
Oh!
Oh my God.
Disgusting.
Staring at it.
Your
like,
collective rewards for all of the tournament-related activities over the past 20 sessions worth of games.
Ooh.
I'm gonna get me a Lambo, y'all.
You're not gonna get a Lexus?
Now, it's time for that fucking Vogan Lexi Breaking Bad.
Yes!
I hope that you make the rest of the day as you will, and we'll see you all tonight. Well, we'll see you tonight.
Indeed. If you need to make use of this building, feel free to. I have it rented out for the entire day. I simply have no desire to stay here any longer.
She stands.
Not because of you, but because I have some other things I need to see to. And Vogan, you spoke earlier as if you wish to keep the belt. I have never had any intention of taking it back from you. Use it for whatever you wish to.
Alrighty, you guys head out to talk to Legum. By the time you get
Like armor that's covered in knives.
Alright, so by the time you get the armor that's covered in knives.
The ultimate Aviana
Legum,
gift!
we have stupid money! Do stupid things! It took me a second to really register what you said.
Yeah, it sounded like it, yeah.
I'm covered in knives.
I guess if I had enough time, I could armor that's covered in knives. She gives a faint, half nod.
Everyone has been taken care of. Thank you very much for your help with that.
Everyone's been taken care of. What do you mean?
Looks over to Fenris.
The soul coins have.
Oh. Genuinely confused.
Oh, I'm glad you managed to sort that out. I'm glad I didn't have to hold on to those for too terribly long. Of all the coins in my possession, those two were ones that weighed heavily on my conscience.
I could only imagine.
When last we saw you, You had made your way through the flames. Were you able to find what you were looking for?
No. From what I recall of how they operated. Though they once wore a very different face, just like I did. The Tenebros has always had the ability to move through the darkness, to shift through it. It would seem that whenever I chased them, they quickly found a place of shadow, and I don't even think that they noticed me. In fact, if they did see me there, and they didn't acknowledge me, I would guess that that means they don't even know what I look like anymore. But they got away by the time I chased them. Whether they managed to outrun me, or they found a place of darkness to vanish in, I wasn't able to catch up with them.
And did they take her with them? Motions over toward Diane.
I didn't see them whenever I moved, so yeah, I guess so. I wasn't chasing Diane, though, so if she went in a different direction, then it is what it is.
Are you still planning to cast your vote where you said?
I have a feeling that it's not going to matter, but yes, I believe I am going to be voting and casting in my lot to try to turn the tides in favor of Vindy's candidate. Rather, I don't actually have a choice. It's private business.
Ah.
From what we had heard from her earlier, it may not make that much of a difference. Unless one of the others act as we don't think they will.
If I know High Lord Morian, based on his reputation, I doubt this is going to be so much an election as much as an investigation.
Oh. I have a feeling
good.
it might end up looking more
It's
like
so
a
good.
trial.
I've been sniffling back here too.
Well, if there's going to
tasty.
be something interesting happening, perhaps we should make our way there a little bit further. Thank you very much for answering our questions, lady.
You've been very helpful up until now. Thank you for your
You've
assistance
shown-
as well.
Of
You've
course.
shown the power of the Knights of the Capital. Thank you very much.
Ugh,
Intense nod at that.
tense rolling of my eyes at
It
that.
has been a great honor speaking with you, as we have.
She nods. You hear some bickering down from where the merchant lords are. You just hear very speaking that is kind of unreadable from where you are, followed by one very loud, "Come on, let's just get it over with already!"
Oh my god, I hate him.
This guy gets me.
Making my way a little closer then.
I think we all know where we stand, don't we? Come on, over the last week we've all figured out what we're here to say! As you guys walk up, you see Mogred turn to the lot of you, while he's like berating the others, shaking a tankard at the others that are there. Then as you come up, he like points it over at you. Oh, the highest standard. Here comes the clown car to unload its various miscreants upon our duty once again. What do you want?
I am
Card.
aghast.
We were requested specifically, my lord.
Of course you were.
Forgive us, High Lord Morian. We did not wish to interrupt.
That's fine. Normally we would not allow advisors to be so close, but in a time such as this, with so many calamities happening so close to the election, I'm sure that we can allow for certain protections. And he like looks over to where Diane is, not Diane's bodyguards. At least it certainly seems fair to me. Wouldn't you all agree? To which basically no one talks. There is a overwhelming sense of tension in the room between the two sides. Right.
So hi, Rory.
Hi.
I'll like lightly just like look at him and just like give him a very slight smile, just like a nod, like, hey.
You have to nod back and just like a double take and then like a very small, like, I don't know if I should be doing this wave to you, just like, Well, normally I would ask there be some ceremony to this, but whenever I took over this city, the proceedings were less than joyous, and I had hoped that the passing of the torch would be a bit more festive, but it would seem that that is not to be the case. So why don't we cut straight to it then? I am not to vote in this. Once we've concluded, once we leave this place, and the sun rises tomorrow, Whomever we have decided upon will act as the new High Lord for whatever period they see fit. Whether it's the rest of their lives, until the capital casts them down, or until they decide to step down as I have. You've already said, Mogrid, that it is unnecessary for us to speak our votes out loud, but protocol and such. So, I'd like to ask, Lord Mogrid, as one who handles the cuisine industry within the city and has pumped quite a bit of life into it, I'm voting for Diane! Don't waste your time! Charming. I suppose I will have to support Diane Kanzleger because I believe that she has the best interests of the city moving forward in mind. Vindy Maxpire, you are assumedly going to vote for your candidate, who, given the public eye, will continue to remain unspoken. And Agravain affirms that they will be voting for Vindy's candidate relatively quickly. They seem like they don't want to be here. As that happens, there's a loud, gradual exhale from High Lord Morian. Then as things are, it seems that, given the lack of my daughter, it is tied. Which means there's only one vote left to account for. And he raises his head off towards the lady who is standing at the end of the hall. And everyone's attention turns to them. The only one who doesn't turn to them, whose eyes don't move to the lady, is Diane. Who, she closes her eyes, pushes her glasses up a bit on her nose.
I believe, and it is the opinion of the capital at this point, that the person that I should be casting my vote for to help to support this election should be the person who has been put forward by Vindy, and she is cut off immediately as Mogred's like, I would actually like to object, and he stands up. Because I'm not really confident taking a vote from someone who hasn't given us their name. How do we know this person's even from the capital? They're strong, certainly. But they wandered in here. Mogred begins, walking towards them, gesturing towards them with a tankard. They wandered into the city, took what they wanted, told us where they were from, and they showed us. Strength, sure. But why haven't you given up your name? Why haven't you allowed us to check back with the capital about if you're actually from there? Maybe we should check with the others that support you. He, looks over to you guys. How about the lot of you? Can you speak for her? Can you prove she is who she says she is?
I would not dare speak for someone from the capital.
High Lord Morian, did you ever bother to run a check or insist that they tell us who they are? Or were you hoping to use them as a surrogate for one of your votes? I can't say that I ever had that planned. I can see why you'd see it that way. In that case, I see no reason why we should allow them to be part of this vote. And he turns back to the lady. You see her shift her shoulders, get off the wall. I agree. If I'd been more forthcoming with who I am, then maybe I could have some kind of say in that, but unfortunately, I never intended to get involved. However, if you want my name, and you want to verify it later, my name is Cassandra Elliott. I didn't feel the need to get involved to give my name because I didn't want to get involved in the election, and I still don't plan to. You can't verify who I am in time. Even if you used magic to contact somebody from the capital, you would probably just claim that I knew the name of a knight and took it. You can't get somebody here to verify it. However, Margaret, you're perhaps familiar with the phrase, those who live in glass houses should not throw stones. What's that supposed to mean? Vindy had noticed a change in your business and sent me to investigate. The touch of lavender has not been in operation lately. Your allegiances have been strange. I admit that I shouldn't take part in this, but you see her take the owl pike rather quickly, arm herself with it, and almost instantaneously covers the distance between the two of them, and you hear just a very loud as the blade strikes through Mogred, just narrowly missing his heart, picking him up off the ground just lightly, and then setting it back down and back down. He like pulls back, reeling away from her. What's wrong with you? What do you think you're doing? And you see him coughing up blood.
Most people would have been killed by that. I've been looking into the Abishai that have been showing up in the city, and I've been tracking them. As well, I was given a bit of a tip by Vindy that your businesses had changed, like I said. So, earlier today I went investigating, and I found the touch of lavender, the source of your income.
You see her walking confidently towards Mogred.
The touch of lavender. That closed down. When I looked inside, I found a multitude of dead bodies. Those who worked there, your wife, your child, and
You see her raise up her weapon.
the body of the real Margaret.
She strikes forward again. That's... You see him reach out, and he takes a blade out from his side very quickly and parries the owl pike, and then slides backwards, stumbling as if, with about the dexterity you'd expect from Mogred. He stumbles back, then gets to his feet in a way that, for a second, is far more nimble than he should be able to. It's a fine story, but
If I'm not going to be voting, neither are you.
That's a fine story, but, Lord Morian, you can't possibly allow this kind of behavior! He shrugs at him.
Care to tell us who you really are? Or if you even have a name? I'm not sure exactly who it is that hired you, though I have my suspicions, but if you are, in fact, somebody who has killed one of the merchant lords, then there's no need for a trial, I would imagine. Highest standard, if you would. Could you go ahead and dispose of them?
No, it's unfair. This is... He looks over to Diane. You should, with all of the unrest, you should be at least trying to handle this in a lawful way, don't you think?
Imposters among us should not be tolerated, so I can't see any problem with disposing of you.
This bitch.
All right.
A bald Teddy.
Aviana, you get to go first.
Bald.
All right, let's fucking go, bitch. I would like to dart forward, and I would like to try to stab him in like the same spot that the lady had, and just like stab him with Vox Victoria.
All right, go for it.
I guess-
Real quick, just to account for what just happened, I'm going to go ahead and apply some damage to him, just straight out, because the lady would have hit him. Ba-boom. Bang. All right, that's a hit.
And as I stab it, I'm gonna like kind of like twist the blade a little bit because that's what I do.
Oh shit.
That
We're
is.
good.
High max damage.
Oh, you get a style point.
Ah, shit!
You strike him, he lets it. You notice as you pull the blade away, as it's like you pull it out and the blood exits him, it goes from being red to this vaguely bluish color.
Who are you really?
It's no one. I'm Mogred. I'm Mogred Silverwing. Yo, Flux, what up?
I'm gonna summon my turret. Gonna run over here and bonus action shoot this boy in the face.
All right,
Oh,
you
damn.
go ahead and summon your turret, and you bonus action shoot that boy in the face.
Well, all right.
Hibbledy bear. Is this the right one?
Able bear.
Hey, bully bear.
Bibbly bear.
Oh my lord!
Oh,
As you walk up to him, he puts his hand up to you. No, you Warforged! I can offer you whatever you want. I can pay you. I just help me get away from here, and I can. And as he gets blasted back as you hit him, go ahead and roll damage.
We're good.
Yeah.
Pushes him back 10 feet, right?
I think just 5 feet.
5 feet.
Pachoo. And that's my turn.
What are you?
I wish to destroy you. Can you help me with that?
I am afraid I can't.
Unfortunate.
He hits the ground, his hands forward, his face planted firmly into the stone, and just starts going, please! Please don't do this! I know I can't beat you, please! I'm not Margaret! I can't tell you who I am! I'm nobody! That's the point! Just please don't kill me!
Why are you doing this?
I was hired to!
By who?
He looks like he bites his lip. Bye. He like looks to each of you, then over towards where Vincent and Diane are. By the family.
That makes sense.
Show us your true form.
He immediately shifts whenever you say that, and his form returns to that of this. It shifts, and like his arms elongate, his body in general gets to be a little bit taller, his features vanish, and he immediately takes on the form of this alienoid-looking blue creature. Still,
doppelganger.
He is a doppelganger.
But he's dressed like Margaret.
But he is dressed like Margaret.
So imagine that for a second.
Oh, it's all loose on him.
It's like all
I
the
love
clothes are
him.
like really are really too
Yeah.
big for him.
I love him, you see.
By the family, you say. I see. Now, why would the family want to get rid of, Margaret?
The family wants to get rid of Margaret because the family wanted to have a seat of power within the city, and I was using the power vacuum of the election to go unnoticed. Unfortunately, I couldn't. The family didn't clean up the way they were supposed to, or maybe they intended for me to get caught. I'm not sure, but it was to seize the role of a merchant lord, hoping that the new candidate being chosen would create enough of a shift that the change in behavior wouldn't be noticed.
Can we assume all of your actions up until now were because of the family, then?
Yes.
You voted for Diane?
Originally, I was going to vote for Murkwire, but yes, when that became less of an option, I did. The family did not want me to side with. He looks over towards Vindy. With them and their choice because of the chaos it would bring. I don't know who it is, but I was told not to. And so, Kanzlager seemed like the best option.
So you say there's members of the family in this room? Yes.
No, I didn't say that.
He didn't say that at all.
I was hired as an agent, as a plant. They do not know anyone else within the city. They put me here as a means to keep an eye on the tumultuous political situation and to, over time, seize power. And, they thought that with what was going on, with Edragan, the election, and whatnot, that I would be a good fit. I've been here for the better part of 2 months, and it only became necessary to remove Margaret's wife and child and others when they had discovered my secret, which was only a few days ago. I don't have any other contacts. I do have several other members of the family under my command within the city, but most of which were killed already by yourselves, and he, points towards you.
You mentioned Edragan. Can you go into more detail?
Well, it was, after all, Edragan who allowed for this situation. I am from the Driftwood organization, but I had come to understand that the head of another branch had already infiltrated the city, and I was made aware recently that had been Edragan. That he was the empty promise. And so, he kind of stands, and there's a slightly more confident, in control look to him, even though he seems to be feigning desperation. And so, with Edragan being here, and being the empty promise, it seemed like it would be easy to take over. I should have known, I suppose, that if you could snuff out Edrican, somebody who was such a high-level operative within our organization, I should never have stood a chance.
May I ask you one more question, then?
He doesn't answer.
Why were you going for Murkwire, then, and not Edrigan, once you found out?
In case one of us were to be discovered, then the other would look like they had not been supporting them. It would have looked good if anyone had been exposed in the future, as it did for some time. I'll tell you anything that you want that's within my knowledge. All I ask is please, spare me. You will have nothing to gain from killing me now.
Well, if that's all the truth, then what more do we need you for?
Unless you can give us something else we can use.
I can tell you where Edrigan has fled to. And with that knowledge, you should at least wait until the new High Lord is selected. He's like gesturing out with his hands in a very pleading way towards all of you. You note mostly towards over where Diane is. Because the new High Lord may deem it important to use that information, right, to try to find him and put an end to that branch of the family, at least for now. So, you need me. Because if I die, you lose that.
I'm not so sure about that.
That would be very important, I agree. And I do think that we should keep you alive until we can ascertain where Edrican is. However, you guys hear the sound of footfalls coming from the upper area, coming down the stairs from up where the springs are up top.
Just being a dramatic bitch.
I love it. I love it so
I love
much.
it so much.
Walking down, trailing his hand along the side, not wearing his green cloak, but trailing his hand along the wall as he comes. You hear him before you see him, and you just hear a very faint, "Yes. I think it would be most prudent to keep you alive until we can manage to find out where I am." As you see Edrigan stepping down and out into the open as the doppelganger turns back towards them.
Anything you'd like to say, friend?
He's going to try to run. As he does, he's not going to be running past you guys, so Edrigan coming from down that way.
Go up the stairs.
One sec, I want to change him back to being Dop. We want to change him back to being a heckin' Dopply boy token. Boop.
Doppity boppity boy.
He rushes, and he's going to take the disengage action, and he is going to begin sprinting, like almost trips as he starts running. I won't die here! I've worked too hard to get here!
2025, I'm going to move to here. And I'm going to throw a Vox Victoria blade at him.
Wait. Alrighty. Go ahead and roll. Are you doing it as an attack?
Yeah.
Alright, then go ahead and do it.
Beep. Nope.
That hits.
Why do you keep saying beep?
I can't stop, man!
Oh, be
It's so cute.
You're so cute, got him!
I know that.
Hiya.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna fucking teleport with Vox Victoria next to him.
Alrighty. You throw it at him, it cuts into his back, he like recoils from it slightly as you vanish, and in a flash of green light appear with the blade in your hand. That's your bonus action to do that. You teleport over to him, it cuts into his back, bounces off of it, you teleport to it, the blade upside down, and you bring it down on him. Go ahead and roll damage.
You're not going anywhere.
You're right, he's not.
Oh,
Look at
God.
all them fours.
As you pierce it in through the back of his throat, he hits the ground.
Do you tear him in twain non-lethally?
Holy fuck.
Are you,
No.
you just killing him?
Oh.
Could still have some information.
Yeah, I will say it was non-lethally, mostly just knocking him out.
Then it does not go through
Getting
his
that
throat,
vibe.
because that would certainly be lethal.
That would do it.
Oh no, I
I
ripped
was
out his throat
debating
non-lethally.
I was debating giving into my demonic impulses is what I'm thinking.
As you strike him in the back of the head, he falls forward unconscious.
He's not dead, so we can always question him later.
Excellent.
I had arranged for several things to happen while I was investigating what was going on. Aviana, I'd like to thank you again for your assistance in ensuring that Edrigan was returned to us.
I'll nod.
However, we've agreed that the lady, Cassandra, that you will not be taking part, correct? So, that interruption aside, I'm glad that we sussed out some of the corruption within the merchant lords, but that leaves us back where we were. That leaves us back at what would appear to be myself and Vincent voting against Vindy and Agravain. So we are once again left with a stalemate. How do you propose we solve this? Margaret will not be returning. And Edrigan, certainly, given the accusations made against you. I can't imagine that any of us would allow you to vote, and since half of the acting merchant lords right now surely share this feeling, I don't think there's much of a discussion to be had there.
You hear more footfalls coming from downstairs, as you hear a very loud and boisterous, "True! But the return of another one would be a different story," as you hear Murkwire's voice calling up from the stairs, watching up. Yeah. The fucking vote. What a twist!
Oh, what a twist! He's got like a bag of popcorn.
He's got popcorn,
Right.
God damn it.
It's one dramatic reveal after
Oh,
another.
my little
Hell
boy
yeah.
Vogan
My heart
finally
can't
enjoying
take it.
political intrigue.
You see Murk.
So much tea. Sorry, go.
You see Murkwire's large form walking up from down the stairs leading to the lower area, followed by another figure that you recognize to be Lilywind.
Oh, fuck!
You see Diane look over towards her.
Given what has just happened,
She's a people. She's not a dragon. Yeah, you see the dragon come out from behind Murkwire. Murkwire, who's that behind you? Who's that figure walking behind you, Murkwire? Just a brass dragon. Fucking.
we can't accept this either. You are already cast out under scrutiny. Why should we believe that this is not just another person in disguise?
It's not really relevant. This is the real Lilywind. I found them and brought them back, as I said I would. But the matter at hand is not whether or not Lilywind should vote. He points over accusingly towards Diane. But whether or not you are going to be held accountable for your crimes. Diane Canslager.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. I've not committed any crimes. I'm picking up the pieces for those who failed to keep our city safe.
All the same, Lord Morian starts. I think we have a fairly large amount of people here who may have something to say to that effect. He turns over towards the highest standard, towards the lot of you. Could you speak truthfully about what has occurred during your time here, and your experience with the three individuals in front of you? And he motions towards Murkwire, towards Diane, and towards Edrigan. And a lot of you have been directly involved in all three of them, with various relationships, formed alliances with various ones of them, have very publicly had connections to them. So tell me, what is your take on what is happening?
I believe only one thing needs to be said. And once that thing is said, we will know exactly who we can trust. Which of the three of you is the bandit lord of Mott?
Diane chuckles to herself.
That's a ridiculous question to ask. It has already been established that Edrigan is. I found the various papers and deals that he was making. I've seen evidence and submitted evidence, signed in his name, regarding his workings with the family.
Me. There's a silence.
I am. And I will see justice for my actions. But not at the... I will not escape them at the expense of all of the people of a nation.
We, the highest standard, defeated the Bandit Lord. But just after he accused another of being it, if he's rescinding that now... Looks to Murkwire.
I was hired.
Edrigan. Sorry.
I was hired by Vincent Bellaquist. I was directed towards him to try to take over the city. He funded my activities while I was acting as the Bandit Lord of Mott, while I was engaging with and stealing from the Amberwick Company using information granted to me by Diane Kanslager, whom at the time I was not entirely aware of her connection to the family, but I am aware now. Diane Kanslager is the empty promise. Used her position and Edrigan as a front, and hoped to use Vincent and myself to claim more influence in the city. You will find, if you were to look back through his business's accounts, that Vincent had funded various activities and projects outside the city. We were digging for an ancient vault because of the one who truly was employing us and manipulating us, because he wanted something from there and was using us. But as far as this election goes, Diane is the member of the family who I'm sure organized for that doppelganger to appear. Has been manipulating what's been happening. Framed Edrican when it became easy. Tried to turn the highest standard's name into something that was sullied and disgraced. And tried to use my reputation and the fear of the city's fear of the war, to seize control of their opinions. I am the Bandit Lord of Mott. I am the one who attacked travelers, who stole relics, who stole from the other merchant lords, and was amassing an army, which has been since disbanded. Edrican has meant nothing but good for this city. And Vincent is the lowest worm I have ever met. Nothing more.
Pop off, Murky boy. Murk him. Goodness gracious.
So then, Vincent Bellaquist.
Hi, Lord Morian starts again. It would seem you're in a position now where we can either investigate into your activities and your business and see if this correlates with the truth. Or you can speak to the truth of the matter regarding your partner Diane and to what she has done.
Yes, I suppose it would be most prudent.
Fine. Yes. I sought to put Murkwire in power, knowing full well what his activities were. I did not know the full scope of them, but yes, I was supporting him, lending him financial aid. And I suppose, admitting to that and going to prison for some time, that is better than likely being killed. Because, no, frankly, Diane, he looks over to her, this is not going to work, and you knew this was not going to work. From the moment we lost Murkwire, that our compatriot lost control of him, you knew this was going to fall apart. And yet you persisted because you were desperate. Because if the empty promise of the family was revealed, then yes, you would have no choice. Not only would you lose your position here, but you knew that if you were revealed, the family would no longer want you back. So congratulations, because that has come to pass. I'll no longer be allied to you. I admit it to my wrongdoing. And I no longer wish to be associated with an association like the family! So yes, Diane, this is true. She's done everything she's been accused of, as has he, turns to Murkwire. The people he's killed cannot be taken back. You will not get away from this. If I'm going down, then you're going down with me. You see Murkwire take a breath in.
I know.
Well then, I would say that Diane Kanslager and Vincent Bellaquist are no longer in a position to vote. Wouldn't you, highest standard? In that case,
Other than obvious.
it would seem that Vindy's candidate has won unanimously. Vindy rests back in her chair and just does a very quick just pat of her hands.
Huh?
Diane. Valder. Please take Diane away. I'm sure we have a lot to talk about.
I have to admit, I did not expect. I thought he was just a lackey.
You see Diane's head just like crane over in the direction of where the doppelganger is.
I had no idea that he was going to end up being a doppelganger. That's unnecessary, but I suppose that makes sense, all things considered. Oh, this was dramatic!
She stands. She looks over to the highest standard, to each of you.
Anything else that you would like to have passed along before I see myself out of here? This proved to be about as twisted as I was hoping it would be, but I just couldn't pass up a chance to see how it was going to play out.
Diane, please sit back down and take this quietly.
Why?
Because you could die otherwise.
I don't want to see you beheaded.
Well, I have a feeling that I'm going to be just fine.
I was going to say, do you really think the Tenebros will protect you?
I have a very strong inclination that the Tenebros is going to protect me, yes.
Very curious how you came to know him. Care to share?
You see her put her hand up to her face.
Well, Diane Kanzliger's not terribly familiar, but
You see her drag her fingertips away from her forehead, and you see these small little tendrils of darkness peel along it. As she does, her form shifts,
Yup.
and you see the Tenebros standing in front of you.
Is anyone in this room actually
like I said, I have a strong feeling that the Tenebros will protect me. I couldn't pass this up. Diane weaved such a weird web, and maybe in another life it was going to work, but I couldn't help but to pluck at it as time went on and leave loose ends because I wanted to see this fall apart. Oh, yes, you. Well, why are you so transfixed on me? Why are you so obsessed with me?
You see the lady looking over towards him. You see her eyes glowing bright red at this point. Her hair is moving as if it was being moved around by like waves of wind underneath her.
For the lot of you to know, I knew this was going to happen. So I passed on some information about a certain vault that I came into knowing about not too long ago. I told Diane if they wanted to seize power, then maybe they could find something there. So if you want to find her, she's about half a day's out towards the skywall by this point. Of course, none of you are going to see that, because Stainer!
He puts his hands out, and you just hear a very quiet "right" echoing from the area around you. A moat of darkness appears in front of the Tenebros and expands outwards, which you recognize as the darkness spell, but it exits and covers the entirety of the area where the merchant lords are sitting.
I think it's about time I caused as much damage as I could before I leave this dreadful city behind, so let's play tag, shall we? Stainer, could you go ahead and distract them for me?
You guys hear the sound of something grotesque moving and a from within the darkness as this as you are all contained within this large sphere of darkness that is in front of you. You hear a very large form crash into the middle of it as if detaching from the ceiling above, and you hear a writhing sound coming from within, as if something is shifting around, like dozens of snakes are moving. And then it becomes totally silent.
Stradivarius had his time. I was wondering what I would be called out. Shall we play highest standard? I've been watching you for some time. Prepare to feel the bite of Segregate Stainer.
Lord of the Black Abishai.
And with that, I'd like to stop for today because we're about to get into some shit. We'll see YouTube. We'll see you guys later. Heckin'.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.